The purpose of a union is to fight. If you're not going to fight, you don't need a union. And to fight effectively, we need a broader vision and a new creativity in tactics and strategies that come from and empower the membership. Yeah, it's a little thing we like to call solidarity.
When we fight, we win! Fight, we win! Fight, we win! ILWU!
Ideally, I'd like to be a Hellraiser. I know that's not an official title, but I'd like to be either on a safety committee or maybe relief BA, something like that. Just something to keep everyone safe and hold the company accountable for their actions.
Okay, welcome to the 2025 ILWU Young Workers Conference, United in Struggle. That was a bit of a slow start. I think we can do slightly better. So don't think that this is just some rinky-dink casual fucking education thing. No, this is the beginning of leadership, activism, and organizing training within the ILWU. So put into it what you want out of it.
I could talk about impossible struggles for probably hours, but you know, I don't know if it's even worth it to single one out. But I would say that when you are a person is facing impossible struggles, because we're all gonna face something in our working lives at some point, either collectively or individually. The best way to deal with these things is a common recognition of what that struggle might be, defining a beginning of a strategy and working through the strategy to be able to find and hope that you might be able to find solutions. And then you need courage. You need to be able to do your research, and you need to be able to act. If you can't act in a collective and a proper way, then you're going to really, really struggle with this.
We got to be really real. The only way that we ever get something from our boss that we can, right, because they're the decision maker, they can pull that lever and decide how things are or aren't going to be on the job and in your lives. And the only way to make them do that is to force them to. And in order to do that, you have to have enough power to match and outdo their power and get them to pull that lever, and all the magic goodies that we want are going to fall out, right?
We need more of this. We need to continue to learn from each other, continue to teach each other, because this is the future. This is the change that we need to see in our industries. There's so many good ideas here. There's so much good energy just coming in and out today. It gives a lot back to people like myself. Like, I'm on the other side of the spectrum, middle-aged worker, and just seeing that this is coming behind me gives me a lot of comfort, knowing that our union is going to be in very good hands in the very soon future.
This union has given me the opportunity to be a voice. And one of the past presidents of the Vancouver District Labour Centre, Joey Hartman, she would always say, if you're in the back, step up. And if you're always at the podium, step aside. But what that always spoke to me is that you bring people along, you make space, and amplify and advocate that voice.
Employers, the employing class and the ruling class, like to divide us, like to separate us. And I don't know if you're going to get into it this week, but the ILWU's 10 guiding principles is something you should learn and know and love and lead by.
The biggest thing that comes to mind is family and solidarity. and the working class. And just because you're not ILWU doesn't mean you're not a working class. Just because you're not a longshoreman doesn't mean you can't be supported by us. And I got taught that really early with my dad being in part of the union and working lots of jobs, and he was always looking out for the little guy. He didn't care if you were casual, he didn't care if you were a union member, he didn't care if you were homeless. If you were trying to make a living, you're trying to make a living, and that's just how we always looked at things.
I mean, ever since I was really, really young, I've always wanted to work around and on shipping vessels. I've never had any experience with it before this, and it was almost like a weird drawing that I had when I was a kid.
I was lucky enough to attend this conference in 2023. That time, I guess the sign up was just a little on the low side. So I have a friend of a friend in the executive committee who's like, please just put your name on there. And I attended. It completely changed my whole view of my position and who I am in relation to my union. And that even as someone who is maybe a little newer or doesn't have a background on this work, or is, a casual, that I still have a lot that I can contribute, and that it is a disservice to myself and also to my union if I ignore that and just don't participate.
I've always been a sit in the background and observe type of person. But when I was faced with signing up for the conference in 2023, I was very hesitant. I was convinced by a couple of my comrades to sign up, and I'm infinitely glad I did. Attending the first conference made me realize just how much I care about this union and working class people as a whole.
The road as a casual is long, and it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. I think that's something that's really important for people to understand. I've been on the waterfront for 15 years. I just made membership last year. It was a 14-year road. And the last 6 years, I've got to be engulfed in this part of our union and learning. And I remember at times I was really scared to announce that I was a casual in the room or anything along those lines. And it took one person patting me on the back to say, "Why are you nervous? You're one of our future members." So make that a key point to take home is, yes, you are a casual right now, or maybe you're not, but you're building to be a future member of this union.
When you start a Young Workers Committee, you're not in opposition to your local. This is not a hostile thing. It is a supplement. It's an energy starter. It's an agitator. You're trying to get something that's standing still to move. By show of hands, who is not from a longshore local that's in here? Okay. There are 3 longshore people up here, but I hope some of the different challenges that we've all had to overcome resonate in non-longshore locals. Specifically in the States, our casual process, but Canada too, you have a lot of time before you're actually a full member.
And that's a big thing, because your time's valuable. And so if you're between 18 and 35, and obviously you're in this room, and thinking about getting involved, take that first step, but you already have. And you don't need to have all the answers. Just bring your passion, your curiosity, and your willingness to try. Because this is your time to grow, and your communities need you more than ever.
Right now, I think is imposter syndrome. Even during this conference, we've heard a lot about young people not knowing how they can get into this space. And because of the older generation, they don't know how to accept us into this space. It's kind of like an old guard versus new guard. And I think we both, young people and even the older generation, we have to put our egos aside to recognize what we're here about. The sole purpose of the union is to bring people together. And even what, I think it was Rob earlier, he was saying about the sole purpose of the union is to kind of remove the competitive nature amongst workers. And if we're competing against generations, we can't be united as one. So that is the main one, and I think once we are able to remove that barrier and understand that it has to continue, and the older generation, they can teach the young generation the struggles, and then now we can make sure that those struggles aren't forgotten, but add on to it to make it better, to remind people and stay top of mind. That would work a long way.
What is the percentage of a typical rank and file that actually is engaged in their union? Does everybody know that percentage? 10. We got 10, 15 I heard. 1%, okay. It is actually only 5% that is carrying our union year after year and keeping them steadfast. And if we can increase that number, that will be great. But I also don't want that to discourage anybody. And a lot of times, if you could just really harness and focus on creating good leaders within that small percentage, you guys will have a lot of success in your local.
I think that most of the people on this committee can agree with me when I say that one of the things that I've learned over the past 2 years is that I'm not anyone special. We are not anyone special. I'm not trying to say anything radical. All I'm saying is that anyone in this room can do what we're doing. You don't have to be on a committee to participate with the union. I am strictly someone who was in the right place at the right time, who made the right argument for people to choose me to be on this committee. Some of you are going to get that opportunity tomorrow to be on this committee, and that's great, but I don't want you to leave discouraged if you don't make it, because showing up is half the battle, and showing up is incredibly important, not just for our union, but for our community and for the people in our lives.
I want to be in a spot where I can try and help, more than just obviously using my strength or using my physical labor. I would like to use my mind or what have you to try and push forward our rights and to work together.
Personally, I'm an artist, so I want to design t-shirts and stickers and make events that will be interesting in that sense. Like, that's what I have to offer for it. I can organize and I can do some art related stuff. So I'd like to find other people's strengths to get the word out there and keep it interesting. I think that's what it's missing. It's not just a book, right? It's our lives, right?
I'd like to consider myself being the same as I am now, helping out the lower force who doesn't know better, the safety protocols, teaching people, welcoming people, and making sure everyone is included and knowing, and hopefully encouraging people to take the ratings that no one wants to do, because we're not always going to have all the old people that do all these harder jobs and more responsible jobs, and I'd like to feel like I'm going to be encouraging and teaching a lot of that.
You know, fulfilling that same role that the older guys in the youth now have done for me and for the other youth coming up, you know, helping us out, sharing their experience with us, just being that point of contact for the younger people coming through, and you know, making space for them and helping them out when they need it.
Well, I've never worked in an industry like this before, and I feel like every day you're learning something new. And I feel like every job I've worked in the past, like I've hit a ceiling point, and I feel like this is the first industry where like the ceiling just keeps going higher and higher. So I mean, there's endless opportunities down here, which I love.
I didn't introduce myself yesterday. I'm a horrible host. I just want things to go. After taking a year to plan this thing, I just want it to go, and I forgot to tell everyone who the hell I was. My name is Dan Kask. I'm the second vice president of ILWU Canada, formerly of ILWU 502, currently transitioning to 514. I would not be standing right here if I didn't attend this in 2013. And there is people in every level of ILWU leadership who have come through this program. This is a springboard or a starting point for people. So again, thank you for being here.
We know that these are tough times, but here's what bosses, politicians, and CEOs don't want anyone to know. Workers hold the power, right? Yeah. We are the engine of the economy, not the bosses, not the boardrooms, not the banks. us, working people. We stock the shelves, we build the homes, we drive the trucks, we run the schools, the buses, the hospitals. Nothing gets built, made, or shipped without us, without you. So don't let anyone tell you that you are not important, that the economy is too important to give us what we deserve. We are the economy. And when we stand together, when we stand strong, we are unstoppable.
This program is working. It's identifying and training the next generation of ILWU leaders. Don't be afraid to take on that work. Our bench is so deep. There's so much interesting knowledge and prior world before the ILWU, and when we get together and we're able to use that for our own sake and for the betterment of the working class, there's nothing we can't do.